Hello, this is the Tradesight U.S. Stocks and Futures Market Preview for Thursday, the 26th of February, 2015. Hope you're having a good trading week. It's been a little light, but we've still been pulling off some stuff in the early couple of hours of play, which is where you should focus in a light volume trading week. Here's a look at the ES front month futures contract. This is the S&P futures contract daily chart, and this is what's interesting. We had a 13 sell signal just over a week ago. We get up to that pink line is the risk line. That is the wall that should be created by that 13 sell signal. We got above it a little bit on Tuesday and came back to close basically right on it. Got a little bit above it again, a little higher even on Wednesday, but then sold off to close underneath it. So we're just not getting through that level. Still means the sell signal is in place. Again, as I've been saying, I think the problem is market volume. We're just drifting. We'd like to see some volume come back and get a little more definitive. Here's a look at the volume number, 1.7 billion shares on Tuesday and Wednesday. It's fine, but it's nothing special. You know, January saw many more days up above 1.8, up to 2 billion. We have not seen a 2 billion share day since the first week of February. So that President's Day week and beyond has been light. Obviously, we've had some weather issues. We've had issues potentially with the partial government shutdown, which is never a positive for market volume or the markets in general. We've had the situation in Europe, stuff like that. But you know, volume is what it is until we get the volume back. The moves are kind of just drifting. They don't count as much technically. Here's a look at the S&P. Lost 1 point for the session, so that's what kept us under that line. NDX lost 10. You can see 3 flat days in a row on the NDX. We'll look at that in the futures side in a minute when we look at the intraday action. Stocks lost 4. Biotech's up 44. New closing high on the biotechs, which is interesting because they were selling off early this morning. Google back up 8, looking to make a new high since January 1st shortly. Apple, on the other hand, down 3.5 points. A very negative move on Apple and playing with the 10 EMA. We didn't get to a 13 sell signal yet on Apple, so don't be surprised if we hold up in this area first and then get that daily sell signal and roll over. VIX gained 0.15 points, not a big deal. Crude oil came back up a couple, closed at 51 even. Gold closed higher as well, and the trend moving average now 1.07 on the 10-day moving average of the trend. All right, let's take a look at the intraday action here in the futures. You can see basically barely made a new high for about 20 minutes over the prior day's high and then came right back in, closed just under where we opened, actually just at where we opened and under the prior day's close. If I slide this around a little bit, you can see that Monday was pretty flat, Tuesday a little bit higher, Wednesday pretty flat. Let's go to the NASDAQ futures. This is even flatter, as I said. Look at this. Every day basically in the exact same range. Monday was impossibly flat for the NASDAQ. Tuesday wasn't much better. Wednesday, same thing, made a new high, but then rolled back over to the low of that narrow range. All right, so that's it. What do we expect for tomorrow? Well, it's the last real trading day of the week, obviously. Thursday, we've got the CPI, the initial and continuing jobless claims data, and durable orders all an hour before the bell. We've got the housing price index 30 minutes before the bell, and we've got the natty gas inventories an hour into the market. Friday is the last day of the month, and it's a Friday, so it's probably going to be a little light. We've got the second look at GDP, the Chicago PMI, Michigan sentiment, and pending home sales on Friday. But hard to imagine the market moving after this week on the last day of the month when they're going to want to print statements on a Friday. So Thursday is probably our last real chance for some excitement. And like I said, we've been seeing it in the first hour or two. We've been very lucky to pull some stuff out in stocks and in futures. But after that, with the volume light, everything just kind of becomes less technically inclined. And we back off quite a bit, or you should be anyways, based on our teachings. All right, everybody have a great trading session. We'll be in the lab as usual helping you out. Charts brought to you by eSignal.